In this video, we're going to be looking at CBD oil and how CBD oil could effectively regrow hair. Make sure to stay tuned. Hey guys, Leon here and welcome to the Hair Guard YouTube channel. On this channel we do tons of science-backed videos all about how you can combat hair loss and regrow healthy hair. Now if you want updating on any of the latest hair loss news or any breakthroughs that we find out about, make sure to hit subscribe to the channel. Now just before we get into the video on CBD oil, now you might be watching this video because you're currently suffering with some level of hair loss. So what we've done is we've created the Hair Guard hair loss quiz. So you can click the link in the description, you answer a few short simple questions about yourself and your hair loss, and then you'll actually get free personalized expert advice on how to naturally regrow hair. So make sure to click the link in the description to take the Hair Guard hair loss quiz. Now we're going to get into the video on CBD oil. Cannabis has gotten a bad rap in the past, but the latest research on the plant and its derivatives suggests that it may be more useful than once thought. In this video we'll cover one particular derivative known as CBD. I'll introduce CBD and the ways in which it may interact with the body. I'll then further outline the potential health benefits of CBD oil, including hair growth. Let's jump in. So first guys, let's have a quick introduction into CBD. Now, Cannabidiol, more commonly referred to as CBD, is an extract from the cannabis plant. CBD is the second most prevalent compound found in cannabis, with up to 40% of the plant's extract, with the first being delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, which is known as THC. Now what is the difference between CBD and THC? To understand CBD, it's important that you first understand what it's not. Cannabis, more commonly referred to as marijuana or weed, is a plant that's often harvested for its psychoactive effects. The compound found within cannabis which contributes to this effect isn't CBD though, it's actually THC. THC is the compound which induces the high that users of marijuana receive. If CBD doesn't have any psychoactive effects though, why is it so often used? Well, the answer is simple. CBD has many of its own benefits which are independent of THC or other compounds found in cannabis. What about CBD and how it interacts with the human body? Well, believe it or not, the human body is actually adapted to the use of cannabinoids like CBD. Let me explain. Found throughout the body are cannabinoid receptors which are part of the endocannabinoid system. These can be classified by CB1 receptors, mostly found in the brain, and CB2 receptors, found mostly within the immune system. These help to stimulate and regulate a number of physiological processes, including appetite, mood, pain, and memory. As you'd imagine, the cannabinoid receptors are where plant cannabinoids like CBD dock. But cannabinoids produced by the human body and synthetic cannabinoids can also interact with these receptors. Once these receptors have been activated, they are then able to influence various intracellular effects and neuronal excitability. So what are some of the health benefits of CBD oil? Well, before we discuss the effects that CBD oil may have on hair growth, let's consider its more general benefits. First is it reduces pain and inflammation. Since circa 2900 BC, marijuana has been used to treat a number of medical conditions. These include muscle spasms, joint pain, and other such conditions which trigger pain. And while scientists are still unsure of its exact mechanisms, there are a few studies which highlight CBD's use in the treatment of pain. Sativex is an oral spray which contains a combination of THC and CBD. The drug is approved for use in many countries and is often used as a pain reliever for those with chronic medical conditions. One study on the topic, published in 2015, offers a bit more insight into the drug's uses and mechanisms. The study consisted of 30 patients, all of which had been diagnosed previously with multiple sclerosis, or MS. The goal of the study was to determine whether the drug could relax the muscles and, as a result, improve spasticity and reduce pain. The patients were given an extensive clinical and neurophysiological examination before and after the trial. The parameters which researchers used to gauge results included motor threshold, motor evoked potential amplitude, intercortical excitability, sensory motor integration, and Hmax/Mmax ratio. As the researchers noted, the results of the study showed an increase of intracortical inhibition, a significant reduction of spinal excitability, and an improvement in spasticity and associated symptoms. As such, they concluded that Sativex may be an effective drug for reducing symptoms of MS. How? Well, the researchers speculate that the drug works along intercortical pathways. This suggests that THC and or CBD can relieve a number of neurological symptoms, including pain. The next thing is that it alleviates symptoms of anxiety and depression. If you suffer from anxiety or depression, you know too well for the condition's abilities to sap you of all your energy, joy and overall mental well-being. There are many drugs on the market which target various pathways in order to treat these conditions. The most common drug classes include selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs, and serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, or SNRIs. But did you know that CBD may also be an effective anti-anxiety and antidepressant? Well, there are many triggers for individuals who suffer from generalized social anxiety disorder, also known as SAD. But one of the most common triggers is public speaking. With this in mind, researchers from Brazil recruited 36 individuals to test the effects of CBD on SAD. The study consisted of 24 patients who had never received treatment for their anxiety disorder and 12 healthy control individuals. The subjects were then required to participate in a simulation public speaking test, or SPST. To determine whether CBD had any effects on those with SAD, the SAD group was split into two groups. The first group received a 600mg dose of CBD, while the second group received a placebo dose. These were administered 1.5 hours before the test, and both the participants and the researchers were blinded to the treatment. The group, which consisted of 12 healthy individuals, didn't receive anything. As the results of the study showed, pre-treatment with CBD significantly reduced anxiety, cognitive impairment and discomfort in their speech performance, and significantly decreased alert in their anticipatory speech. These results are especially significant when you consider how the placebo patients performed, as they displayed higher anxiety, cognitive impairment, discomfort and alert levels. The results of this study are certainly interesting, but is there more research to back these claims? Well, one study published in 2016 showed the effectiveness of CBD oil in the treatment of insomnia in children with post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. But just as with the previous study, there are still many questions left unanswered. The most pressing question is whether dependency on CBD is a possibility. As of now, there is no evidence to suggest that CBD dependence or abuse is a problem. That's not to say that the possibility has been ruled out entirely, however. So, CBD is a pretty interesting medication. It's quite popular at the moment, but now we're going to go into how it could be used for hair growth. Well, there's currently no evidence that CBD can directly stimulate hair growth or treat pattern baldness. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have its hair benefits though. Let's take a look at what we do know about CBD based on current research. The first thing is that it may treat psoriasis. Psoriasis is a skin condition that consists of flaking, inflammation and thick patches of skin. This condition can develop on any part of the body, though areas with high sebum content, such as the scalp, are often a target. There are an array of treatment methods, including photodynamic light therapy, steroids and immunosuppressive drugs. But as you can imagine, these can come with their own risks and potential side effects. The good news? A literature review published in 2016 indicates that CBD may be a future treatment option for psoriasis patients. It's well known that psoriasis is an autoimmune disorder that may trigger an interaction within the nervous system. The endocannabinoid system is one such system within the nervous system. This means that it's possible for CBD to play a role in mitigation of symptoms. There is still much research to be done, of course. It also may stabilise sebum levels. Now, we've already discussed about the benefits of CBD oil for treating inflammation. Inflammation plays a significant role in hair loss, and whether it's the underlying cause or just a side effect of another condition, we know for sure that inflammation must be controlled in order to stop hair loss and even regrow hair. But another factor that's often overlooked in hair loss is sebum. Sebum is the natural oil produced from the sebaceous glands which are found inside the hair follicle. A healthy scalp can regulate sebum production so as to ensure a well-balanced environment. Medical conditions including male pattern baldness may trigger an imbalance, however. So how does CBD fit in? According to a 2014 research study, CBD exerts sebostatic effects on human sebocytes. The research was performed in vitro, which means it was performed in test tubes, culture dishes, etc. in a laboratory setting. The researchers used cultured human sebocytes, which are highly specialized sebum-producing epithelial cells, as well as human skin organ cultures to determine the effect of CBD on sebum production. As the tests showed, The administration of CBD to sebocytes and human skin organ culture inhibited lipogenic actions of various compounds. These included arachidonic acid, linoleic acid, and testosterone. But how exactly does this work? Well, it appears that CBD activates certain ion channels, namely transient receptor potential of vanilloid 4 or TRPV4, which then suppresses sebum proliferation and expression. Well, why is this good for hair growth? There are quite a few dermatological conditions that are triggered by the presence of excess sebum. Dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis are perhaps the most common. The buildup of sebum can cause irritation, inflammation, and itching. Over time, this may dislodge otherwise healthy hairs from the scalp or even clog the follicles and prevent hair growth. If CBD oil can suppress excess sebum production, as the previously mentioned study claims, this may be a significant breakthrough for sufferers of many dermatological conditions. And finally, it provides nutritional benefit. In some cases, nutrient deficiencies can cause hair thinning and loss. This is particularly true when it comes to vital hair nutrients such as iron, niacin, and biotin. Hair loss can also trigger a nutrient deficiency within the follicles, as the follicles become inflamed and are unable to receive oxygen and nutrients they require from the blood vessels. CBD is full of nutrients such as omega-3, omega-6 and omega-9 fatty acids, as well as gamma-linoleic acid or GLA. These ingredients may help to promote hair growth, but they can also protect existing hair strands. Fatty acids are beneficial in two main ways. Foremost, they provide moisture to the scalp and hair. They also protect the cuticle against outside damage so as to reduce breakage and split ends. And we can go even further and say that amino acids within CBD lend themselves to the structure of the hair strand. The hair is composed almost entirely of the protein keratin, and as amino acids are the building blocks of protein, CBD oil's contents can ensure the protein is strengthened. Okay, great, so CBD is looking like quite an interesting thing to add into a hair care routine. What about legality issues? There's much debate worldwide about the legalization of the cannabis plant and its derivatives, including marijuana and CBD oil. Let's take a look at the United States, for example. Well, thanks to the 2018 Farm Bill, which was signed into law in December 2018, CBD oils obtained from hemp plants are legal at the federal level. But CBD oils which are obtained from marijuana are only legal in some states. You may notice that the qualifier that's bordered above. What exactly does this mean? Marijuana and hemp are both terms which are often used to describe the derivatives of the cannabis plant. The difference, however, lies in the THC content. Marijuana, by definition, is any cannabis plant variety that contains greater than 0.3% THC by dry weight. These plant varieties are known to produce the high that's associated with weed. Hemp, on the other hand, is any cannabis plant varieties that contain less than 0.3% THC by dry weight, and this means that it's a non-intoxicating variety. Hemp-derived CBD oils are more widely legalized throughout the world. So how could you use CBD for your hair? Well, there are two ways to utilize CBD, topically and by ingestion. To apply it topically, you would massage CBD oil into your hair and scalp to receive the direct benefits of the oil. There are many brands of CBD oil shampoos and conditioners on the market. These products may take the deliverability of CBD easier, and they can also make it easier to add CBD to your routine, as shampooing and conditioning are likely regular parts of your routine already. The next thing you can do is you could take it orally. The vast majority of CBD oils are produced as an oral supplement, so as long as the brand you've chosen indicates that it can be taken orally, you may want to consider that option. This method can likely provide you with the greatest benefits in regards to nutrient absorption. What should you look for in CBD oil? Well, if you're on the market for CBD oil, then you'll need to pay special attention to the quality of the products you buy. What exactly should you be looking for? Well, the first place to start with is full spectrum CBD. The oils derived from hemp plants are often classified as either full spectrum CBD or CBD isolate. Full spectrum CBD contains many more beneficial components, including proteins, fatty acids, and flavonoids. The same cannot be said for CBD isolate, which is likely to contain just CBD and perhaps a few tracer components listed above. Unfortunately, there is very little regulation of CBD oil around the world. In the USA, for example, CBD oil is not regulated by the Federal Drug Administration. This means that the manufacturer is responsible for quality and accurate reporting. So if the FDA doesn't back the claims of these companies, how can you know that their labelling is accurate? Well, the only way is to choose a reputable company. Reputable companies will often provide the results of third-party researchers. This offers an additional assurance to consumers. Now, the evidence on CBD oil for hair growth is slim. In fact, no trials which directly study the use of CBD for hair health have been performed. That doesn't mean that we can't draw conclusions from other studies on the cannabis derivative though. We know that CBD may control sebum levels, and this is important for a healthy scalp environment. We also know that CBD oil contains many nutrients which can provide the hair with the boost that they need. So guys, that's what we want to share with you today on CBD oil. Now, if you're worried about your hair loss, don't forget to click the link in the description to take their Hair Guard hair loss quiz, where you'll receive free expert advice on how to regrow hair. Hope you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.